please welcome our next speaker delivering the thesis, Rockwell, Picasso, Ford, an argument for aesthetic beauty in automobile design, Mr. Holden, Algee.
In 2003, Horatio Pagani, a janitor who became one of the most illustrious automakers in Italy, unveiled his magnum opus, the Zonda F. Beautiful curves and edges were hallmarks of the car's design. It was a culmination of years' worth of science and craftsmanship. Not a portion of its material or shaping was pointless. Every aspect of its design crafted with thoughtfulness. Pagani had found these beautiful shapes and winding slopes, not in mathematical programs or design calculations, but in the human form. Humanity was the central tenet of the Zonda's design philosophy. Just as we were created to be beautiful in the image of God, so too was the Zonda. But the question is, why is this level of beautiful human-based design reserved only for the top caliber of cars? In 2003, the Zonda was priced at a staggering $350,000 US, and in the 21 years since, the price has only climbed. Why can't your family sedan, truck, station wagon capture the beauty of the Zonda F? And quite frankly, why should it? I argue that automakers should prioritize aesthetic beauty when it comes to designing automobiles, because it would bring an added layer of competition to a flourishing American industry and integrate soulful art into our everyday lives. Competition is the purpose of our economic system, to create products that we as a society value for their practicality and for their beauty. With the auto industry's goals shifted towards aesthetic design, it would pave the way to a new era where not just automobiles, but all objects in our society are designed with these aesthetic design principles. Aesthetic design refers to achieving the intended purpose of an object without any pointless additions. Ornamentation may seem pointless, but it can have numerous benefits. Gothic cathedrals, for example, contain intricately designed spires and columns that provide crucial structural integrity and cohesion to the building's architecture. They also help achieve the building's purpose by showcasing humanity's devotion to worshiping God. In turn, automobiles must also follow these design principles. No aspect of an automobile's design should be without purpose. The relationship between aesthetic design and functionality exceeds far beyond mere superficial beauty. Take, for example, a hammer. A well-designed, ergonomically sound hammer significantly improves the act of driving nails into a board, as opposed to a poorly crafted one, in which the nails might not plunge fully, bend, or break. This is why, similarly, automobiles must follow these principles. Automobiles have the express purpose of transporting the user, a number of passengers, maybe cargo, from one place to another. If an automobile does not succeed at its primary purpose, it simply isn't an automobile. However, they also contain a secondary purpose, that of its class type. Pickup trucks, for example, have large beds to transport heavy cargo. Super and hypercars have aerodynamic shaping and roaring engines to achieve high speeds. If a car achieves its primary function, but not its secondary function, it is still a car, albeit a poorly crafted one. They also contain a tertiary purpose defined by the public's needs. Cars in the 1910s and the 1970s were designed to be produced as efficiently as possible, while cars in the 1930s and 50s were produced with more of a quality over quantity approach. In recent years, automakers have attempted to bridge the idea of automobile classes together, resulting in incoherent designs. This problem is best exemplified in the auto industry's acceptance of the crossover and the SUV. The crossover can seldom transport more people than a sedan, more cargo than a sedan, has a worse fuel economy than a sedan, is less aerodynamic than a sedan, and on top of that, are far more likely to be fatal in a collision. These fatal design flaws are a direct attribution to the crossover's poor attempt at merging class types together. This problem carries over into aesthetic presentations, probably the most famous example being the Pontiac Aztek. The Aztek contained a misshapen grille, boxy windows juxtaposed to a bubbly frame. It was a financial and critical failure. It tried to combine elements of a sedan, a pickup truck, a station wagon, and it did so poorly and haphazardly. Just as the elements of these classes didn't work together, so too did the Pontiac Aztek's body work, or more aptly, didn't work together. Many Americans push back against the concept of automotive aesthetics or a car culture in general. The American organization Metro, one of the largest corporations dedicated to public transit, stated that the appearance of an automobile created a perception of status in an onlooker's mind based on notions of wealth. However, if all cars, all price points, were designed with the same human-based design principles like the Zonda had, would this notion of wealth and status not fade away? Imagine if everybody's driveway were instead filled with hundreds of pieces of art on wheels. Surely then their houses could follow. Why stop at their houses? Every single object in our society, all equally redesigned to follow these human-based principles, creating altogether a society that Dr. Glenn Parsons, a seasoned philosopher and author of The Art of Design, states as being useful, meaningful, socially progressive, and ultimately beautiful. It's no secret that we as humans are drawn to beauty. We were created to be beautiful. We weren't created to live in a world of mechanical efficiency, of pure numbers, and of sterility. We were made to be in the image of God, to be beautiful creatures. We owe it to ourselves and our future generations to strive for that ideal. So let's come together and ask more of our society, more of our institutions, more of our local leaders and producers to create a society that altogether is more aesthetically pleasing and more godly. And the catalyst of this conversion should be something that I'm sure every family in this room owns: an automobile. Thank you.